What is up, everybody? Two Legal Hookers podcast. Smokey,
Tater.
We are here now. Episode 2, a little bit delayed.
A little delayed, yeah. You know,
Mother Nature kind of had other plans. Mother Nature was in the works with giving us a lot of snow.
Yeah. Southern Oregon is not used to the dump that Mother Nature took on us, and it was proven very factual by the drivers.
For
They're
days,
just not used to it. Yeah.
We had originally had the plan to record this last week. Everything would have already been done, and we're delayed again now, almost another week because of weather. So Mother Nature decided to throw a fit, and
people can't drive for shit.
Not at all.
No, but we're here. We're finally back. Thank you for being patient and waiting for the episode.
Yes.
First and foremost, thank you for all the likes, follows, and shares.
Huge shout out.
Where are we at with YouTube?
To just hit 205 today. So we hit 205 subscribers today.
Thank you all.
We're 2 months in now, second episode in. Huge shout out to Tow Truck Dustin. He tremendously helped us with that. We had a lot of fun with him. A lot of things in the work. We'll put some footage, here and there of that, different clips. If I was you, I'd go check him out. He's got absolute amazing video of everything that happened when he came out here with us. So that was awesome.
Yeah, it looks like you guys had a good time, and long drive for good
little trip. Yeah, 2,200 miles he drove and stopped in Utah. He stopped and seen Yankum Ropes, a couple other companies that made off-road towing and things like that. So he had a lot of fun. He got to do a lot of cool things and good experience for everybody. So
really excited where we are right now. Can't wait to see where we go from here. Hopefully it just keeps climbing and climbing. I'm very excited that it took off as good as it did.
Yes, a lot of positive feedback too.
A lot of positive feedback.
We super appreciate that too. A lot of you guys are all looking forward to seeing what we got next. You guys have been interacting with us on the socials. Oh yeah. It's really been great. It's been awesome.
Speaking of socials, and we're on pretty much every streaming platform now.
Yep.
We've got our videos are going up on YouTube. We've got audio on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Audible. Pretty much if it was available, we signed up for it.
Yeah.
But if you can't find us on what you listen to, let us know and we'll do whatever we can to get on there. We've also got the link tree going, which will pretty much anything, any of the sites have the link tree on it. So
it'll link to the others.
Yeah, you can find everything.
Follow one page, follow them all.
Yeah, give us a follow on everything. And tag us in posts, pictures, videos. If you see something and you think it's interesting, tag our podcast and we'll take a look at it.
Typically on most of the socials, I think is going to be at 2H or
2LH
podcast. Yeah. And then
2LH podcast.
If you can't find it there, it'd be Two Legal Hookers podcast. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. So other than that, we're out there. You'll find us.
Yeah. So I guess first we'll do a little follow up for episode 1, which was If It Fits, It Ships. Again, surprisingly good feedback. I thought we were going to have a lot of people trying to justify what they're doing and arguing about it, but really everybody was just kind of like, "Thank you, good information." I think
it makes sense.
It's hard to argue when you have the facts. Like the numbers are right there.
Yep.
And again, I think a lot of it is just that people don't know, and it's not hard to find the information, but again, if it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess is a common saying. So I guess if they're getting away with it and
to each their own, but I don't recommend it.
Yeah, no, I would rather know and do everything I can.
Yeah.
But anyway, still seeing a lot of posts about guys trying to justify, oh, well, it's a 10,000 pound bed or it's a 12,000 pound bed. And yes, the bed will work. The bed will take it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the truck.
Your truck will not.
Yeah, the truck will not take it. We've seen plenty of pictures of, you showed me that one of the MPL 40 and the truck was just bananaed.
Oh, and the Ford?
Yeah. The truck was just bananaed.
Smoked the frame.
Yeah.
Smoked it.
That's not necessarily an issue with the wrecker kit. Typically, I would have expected the wrecker kit to break first, but the Ford just bent in half.
Yeah.
But basically, even on a 26,000 pound chassis, we're talking about flatbeds, even on a 26,000 pound chassis, they typically have a 10 or a 12,000 pound bed on them. Our trucks do.
Mm-hmm. I think mine's 10. 10
I
or
think
11.
all three of ours are 12,000 pound beds, if I remember correctly. But when you look at the gross vehicle weight rating minus your curb weight, you still, on three of our trucks, you've only got like around 9,000 pounds. So even though the bed is rated for it, the bed will take it all day long. It's your chassis that's going to suffer in the long run. Then you've got people that are putting a 10,000 pound body on a 19.5 chassis. You've got even less room there. Yes, 10,000 pound body, but the truck, most of them are around 5,000 pounds, give or take, depending on the setup of the truck. Is it a regular cab? Is it a gas motor, 4-wheel drive, aluminum bed, steel bed? All of that plays in a factor. So I highly recommend you take your truck to a scale, go through when they're closed. That way you don't have any issues. You're not going to get tagged or
even if you want some advice from the DOT guys. Not all of them are bad, you guys.
No,
okay.
I've had great interactions with the DOT guys around here, rolling through scales, and really they're. I'm sure there are the guys that have a hard on for us out there, but our DOT guys out here are great.
They're informative to me.
That's all they've ever done is given us information. If they found a problem, they said, "Hey, park it, fix it, get on the road." That's all.
Yep.
They're really good guys. They deal with a lot of crap every day. I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. But roll through a scale. Go roll through a closed scale. Go to Pilot or a Petro or whoever your cat scale is. Pay the couple bucks. Go through. See what your truck weighs empty. Fill up the tank. Have a nice big meal and get in the truck. And that'll be the most your truck is pretty much going to weigh, unless you have passengers with you. And then look at that number and subtract it from your gross vehicle weight rating, and that'll tell you how much you can put on your chassis before you're overweight. Very easy, only costs a little bit. If you get to a scale that's a roadside scale that's closed, just roll through it. Typically they're powered. You can roll through.
And if you do it once, you can be smart like him and keep a list of your vehicles at your job and your company. What holds what weighs what can do what.
It took some time, but I've got every piece of equipment through the scale to figure out what it weighs. So I know what truck it can go on, what trailer it can go on, and I know that we're going to be safe and we're not going to get a ticket.
And that's how you know you care.
So yeah, I highly recommend roll your truck through a scale and see what it weighs. It's the only way you're going to know and be safe. Prevent yourself from getting a ticket. Prevent yourself from damaging your truck. Prevent yourself from potentially hurting you or somebody else.
You snap the frame on your truck, you're not making money.
No. The other issue is the autoloaders. Again, still seeing, I saw a post the other day about a guy, he was towing a UPS truck, and people are, and he said it was an MPL 40. And he knew his numbers though. I was surprised. I was very surprised. He said, "Yep, MPL 40, 4,000 pound lift. It's right in the name." I said, okay. But 7,500 pound tow rating. All of the autoloaders that I've looked at when we're trying to, decide what truck we're going to get next, I have not found one that is more than a 4,000 pound lift or a 7,500 pound tow rating. So that means the vehicle you're towing can only weigh 7,500 pounds.
Right.
And I still don't think the front axle weight on that UPS truck was 4,000 pounds or less. It was heavier than that. My guess is it was probably around 5,500. If I remember correctly, I tried to go back and look at some tows I had done in the past and look at the weights on them. I want to say those UPS trucks are about 5,500 pounds. Yeah, they're a gas motor, but all the weight in those trucks are in the front end. Mm-hmm. The box is aluminum. It's light. All the weight is really in the front end. And I think the gross weight, even the curb weight on it even is over 7,500 pounds. I want to say they're closer to like 10 empty, 9,500, 10,000 pounds.
Well, those trucks are marked at what, 14, I think? 14,995.
I want to say 16
yeah?
is ones I've seen.
I was going to say it's somewhere in that couple thousand range.
It depends on the length of the truck. The longer trucks, I think, maybe have a higher GVW, but either way, I think it was probably a little bit over. Not as crazy as some of the MPL 40 tows I've seen, but it would not surprise me. I believe that truck still was over. So again, that's where you kind of have to guess. And that's one of the things whenever I call the customer before I head there, I ask them, especially if it's a commercial truck, hey, what's your weight? What's your weight going through a scale empty? And most of them have never weighed, but every once in a while I get lucky. But I try to note it. If I go through the scale, I try to make notes of the weight so that I can have an idea of, okay, the last time I towed one of these, it was about this much, and try to make the appropriate choice, because I don't think an MPL 40 for towing any kind of box truck, unless it's the tiniest U-Haul, and even that, maybe
Those
that's
little
even
10
overweight.
foot, those little 10-foot trucks.
The little 10-foot single rear wheels, it's probably okay for that. But again, it's that lift weight. If you're lifting the front, I still think you're over. I don't think those are 4,000 or less.
A little step up from an express van almost.
Yeah.
At that point. And then you're jumping into the econo lines when you get to those 15 foots and beyond that.
Yeah.
So you're looking at some weight. Those are RV type chassis.
Yep.
I mean, it's heavy.
Yeah. And they're deceptively heavy. You don't think it's that heavy because you just think aluminum, gas motor, 2-wheel drive. I don't think it's that heavy, but when you go through the scales, they prove you different.
Shows otherwise.
Yeah. So just know your weights. Your truck, even the MPLs and stuff, the truck will typically take it. It's the body that's gonna get worn out. You're gonna blow out bushings, crack. I've seen MPLs with cracks in the pivot. We were gonna buy a truck and we ended up not buying it because it was cracked at that pivot point at the bottom pretty badly. So if you're buying used trucks, really, really, really inspect them. You could be getting yourself into a big expensive fix if you don't do a really good expensive.
Heard a few stories on that.
Yeah, if you don't do a really good inspection on that truck before you buy it. But yeah, so just be careful. If you do these sketchy tows, I'm going to call them, where you're potentially overweight, I would not be posting those up. I wouldn't. Well, it's just,
if you do, tag me. I want to see it.
Those are the ones we're talking about. Yeah. Tag us on those.
I want to see it.
We're not going to blow you up. It just gives us something to look at, something for us to talk about. And again, we're not going to call out any companies or anything like that. But
it gives us points.
It gives us points to talk about and just evidence to back up what we're saying. But again, we're not calling anybody out. That's not what we're here for.
No.
We just want everybody to be safe.
And we're not here to train you on it either. We just want you guys to know, the same kind of knowledge that we're having. I mean, I'm still learning a lot of the weight distributions and kind of things like that.
If you're not learning, you're doing something wrong.
Exactly.
I've been in this business for going on 12 years now, something like that. Mm-hmm. And like literally every day, I feel like I learn something.
Yep.
The worst case scenario would be you're towing something too big, you're overweight, and you get into an accident. The insurance company does their due diligence and investigates, and then they see that you've got all these pictures on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok of you towing heavy stuff all the time. You could get dropped. Insurance is expensive enough as it is. We don't need any more reasons for them to charge us more money.
And if you don't want DOT to be on your bad side, don't do that.
DOT gets impressed when you actually know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And
they respect you.
And that's why I think they tend to leave us alone, is because the few times that we have been stopped, they've not had any real issues. I got stopped one time because the flag on the back of my truck, the banner on the back of my truck was too narrow.
Because Oregon's is supposed to be a certain length.
It has to be a certain height and a certain length.
Compared to every other state, welcome to Oregon. We have to have a little bit bigger sign that says oversized load.
And I made the mistake of I put the smaller one on the back,
and the big
which
one
was perfectly fine on the front, and the bigger one on the back. So he had me switch it around, and we talked, and he asked me about the weights and everything, and he was very surprised at what I knew. And that's, he could have given me a ticket, but he didn't. And I think that just the fact that I knew the answers to the questions that he asked probably played into that a little bit.
And it shows what you're doing.
But yeah, that would be the worst case scenario is you have something too heavy, you can't steer, you can't brake, and you get into a wreck. Just don't post it.
And if you do, tag me.
If you do, tag us. So anyway, let's move on from there. That was a great episode, and we'll touch base on it again.
Yeah, I'm sure
down the road.
Yeah.
But this episode, we're going to kind of do like a scene safety, personal safety type of episode, talking about equipment, and what we can do to keep ourselves safe.
And hopefully that'll lead into some good surprises for episode 3.
Yeah.
We do have things in the works. I promise you, you guys know how towing goes. You know how the industry is. You know how weather gets. You know what I mean?
We wanted this episode to be about slow down, move over.
Yeah.
We're working really hard to get at least a couple of guests. We're going to maybe touch base on that once we get confirmation. We'll throw out a little short or something.
And the only way you guys are going to see that is follow,
share,
follow
subscribe.
the pages, watch, look at us. And maybe, again, slow down, move over. We're talking about it. If you guys want to be a guest on that, please reach out to us. Email, social media, whatever it is, contact us. We can do a Zoom. We can do it over Discord. We can find a way to record a live episode and get it posted.
We're not paying for you to get here.
No.
But we can do in person if you're local, or we can do something digital.
Yeah, and slow down, move over is huge. It's not just towing related. It's completely emergency and world. The world needs to understand and get more knowledge on this, because again, since the last time we talked about the first couple deaths that happened at the beginning of the year, there's been, I think, 3 more accidents, 2 fatalities of the 3 with tow operators.
Yeah,
because people don't care.
Yeah,
and we'll talk about some of that with the scene safety stuff.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, so for this episode, personal safety. The very first thing is wearing safety glasses. It sounds, I don't know, lame, I guess, to be safe. Wearing glasses, wearing gloves.
Oh, you look like a dweeb.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I got eyesight, though.
My stepdad got a chunk of steel in his eye. He worked on the railroad, and they were drilling, and he got a piece of steel in his eye, and it ended up going and getting rusty, and he had to have it removed. He's very lucky he kept his eyesight.
Don't be like Tater's stepdad.
Yeah, we don't want that. If you can't see, you can't drive. If you can't drive, you can't make money. So safety glasses always. Cody didn't get this reference, but Norm says there's no more important safety rule than to wear these safety glasses. Let's see how many people know what that is. Put it in the comments.
Not me. You see the generational difference here?
And Cody's got no clue.
Not a single clue.
He knew who Bob Ross was, so he got some points for
We're
that.
going to paint little pretty birds.
But anyway, yeah, safety glasses all the time. Especially, it doesn't sound, jump starts. Jump starts are very important for you to wear safety glasses.
As oddly as it's not, I would probably recommend wearing them more around that kind of
Yeah. We
thing.
had a guy that used to work for us, Dave, and I remember he went to do a jump start on a car, and the battery was just bad. He hooked up to it, and it started gurgling and bubbling, and luckily he had safety glasses on. The battery didn't blow up, and we don't know if maybe he hooked up backwards or if the something was wrong. Something was wrong in that battery, and it started making all kinds of noise. And luckily he had his safety glasses on, because that's how we train. So that if something happened, at least it would hopefully protect his eyes. But
you guys were strict on that.
Yeah.
I remember.
Jump starts. I notice the more I wear them, the less I feel like they're there. So I just try to put them on. Try to put them on in the morning and just keep them on throughout the day. And I'll get weird looks in the store and stuff like that because I'm wearing safety glasses. They're obviously not regular glasses.
Right. And then too, like, I wear glasses. Like, they're prescription. I have to wear them all the time. I can't see a damn thing if I don't have them on.
Yeah.
So 1, I hate it in the rain. It
Foggy.
sucks. It fogs up. You get hot. They get wet. You get spots all over it. You can't see. I just take them off when I go to do that portion. If I'm driving, obviously they're on. There is safety glasses that you can get prescribed.
Yeah, you can get prescription safety glasses.
Yes, they're expensive.
I think most of the glasses now are a low ANSI rating.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they meet what we would, what would be required for our job.
Right.
But that's actually something that's worth looking into.
And they do have them. They're, like I said, they're a little bit more expensive. It's the same thing as like getting prescription sunglasses. They're going to be a little bit more expensive for the lenses, but they're there. They work. They are available.
What's your eyesight worth to you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, safety glasses are number 1. Good pair of boots. I see
Always.
a lot of guys wearing sneakers. I've seen guys wearing sandals.
Yeah, I saw
slides,
a couple.
flip-flops, whatever you want to call them.
Literally like 2 days ago it wasn't even in the U.S. It was a third world country kind of.
I've seen it in here.
Towing guy,
I've
and
seen him.
He's out there in the pouring down rain and this jungle, just out there in flip flops and shorts, trying to pull a car out of a sunken hole, and I'm sitting here like, what?
At least he was wearing something. He wasn't.
I barely like wearing my Romeos anymore. Like, that was all me. I used to wear Romeos all the time. Now I wear boots.
Now the Romeos didn't work for me. I felt like I was twisting my ankle left and right in those things.
I did the low top. I did the medium top. And I got boots that are 8 inches up my legs, and I'm not switching back.
Yeah. No, I used to just get the cheapos from Walmart, and man, they killed my feet.
Yeah.
$40, $50, $60 pair of boots, and they'd only last 3 or 4 months, and the soles would be gone. But my feet just hurt all the time in them. I started buying Red Wings. I absolutely loved my Red Wings. They would last well over a year. and then you get them resold, and it's like half the price of a new pair of boots, but your boots are already broken in,
Yep.
so that's nice. And then the Red Wing store closed down. We don't have Red Wing here in our area anymore.
Dang.
So I ended up switching to Danners, and I got Danner Loggers. Holy crap, I love those boots. They're expensive, but
Those are fire type boot. I used to
Wow.
do fires, and I did Danners, and I did some whites.
yeah,
Whites were really
whites are
good.
supposed to be really good too. Yeah,
And yeah, they're expensive, very, very
Yep.
expensive. But let
you're
me tell
gonna
you
get
what,
a long life out of them.
they lasted me 5 years.
Yeah.
I got those 5 years. And
No, I've seen guys, 5-10 years. They've, they just resold the boots,
same
boots.
thing. Yep, send them off. Get
Yep.
them rebuilt on the bottom. Your leather's still good.
And they can do some other repairs, certain stuff, replacing the ties and stuff, the little clips for your.
You end up with feet issues. They can actually
Yeah.
Tailor the leather to your foot.
Yeah.
JK Boots does it. I mean, there's all sorts of companies, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
recommend a lot of these guys. A lot of them I found when I fought fire. But fire boots in the
I'm
industry,
surprised you said JK. I looked into them. I almost bought a pair of their boots.
they are actually very, very, very good boots. Very
Yeah.
good company, very good people.
And they're Pacific Northwest.
Yep,
Yep.
Northwestern
Made here
base
in Oregon or Washington. Washington.
Yep. Or at least the one that I knew of was in Washington. I'm
Yeah.
sure they've expanded now over. I've been out of 3-4 years now going
Yeah.
on. So yeah, but I
Well,
mean, boots are
Good pair of boots. These ones in the snow. I mean, Oregon doesn't see snow like this. Or this part of Oregon anyway.
we get an inch
An
of
inch.
dust.
Yeah, an inch, and it melts off by the afternoon. This last storm, I was up on Siskiyou. We had a 4 semi-truck, 2 regular car wreck up there.
We'll post some photos,
Yeah.
and get some of them up there, and then stay tuned on Dustin's too, because
Oh, so you got some stuff?
Well, we're gonna send him some. He wants some of ours to post on his
okay,
too. So
okay.
he doesn't get to see the snow. Texas got to
Yeah.
see snow. We got to see snow, so it's kind of just a
Texas sees it even less than we do, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, up on Siskiyou, I mean, it was up to my knees in some places up there.
Yeah.
And these Danners,
I walked out my house and it was past
Yeah.
my ankles.
Yeah.
So my whole bed was topped.
It's not normal for us.
And then I had to go up a hill and shove it all off.
So yeah, we got boots, vests, and coats. So your safety vests. This is a level 2. This is not okay for the highway. This is good for under 50 miles an hour. Level 3 has stripes on the arms. Even your
typically
vests,
don't.
it has a stripe around your bicep
Yeah,
there. If you're not level 3, if you're not wearing a level 3 vest, then you're not rated for highway. So if something was to happen, again, you're not at that safety level. Yeah, even this is a level 3 because it's got the stripes on the arms.
And I choose to wear something like that over a vest any day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more comfortable for me. I'm not having to take on and off the vest every time or
Right.
feel it on and off. So it's really to your preference or what your company is. A lot of the companies have the stripes like this.
Yeah.
And the shirts that come, pre-ready and already available.
Yep.
But,
No, I go as far as I even have, my rain gear has stripes on the legs and the pants.
Yep.
I've
lower
got
half.
gaiters. I saw they were like $15, and they just go over from your ankle up to about your knee, cover your shins, and they've got some extra striping on them. So in like
Smart.
the foggy weather, especially, or at night, I try to remember to put those on.
I have that flagging one piece that's waterproof. So it's like
Mhm.
half black and then it's like, bam!
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
going to see my legs down there. And then I have a big
And
coat that I
there's
top
all
over.
kinds of light up options now too. You can get vests that actually glow. They've got
Mhm.
lighting in the vests, hard hats that have lighting in the hard hats.
Guardian Angels.
Guardian Angels.
I mean, he uses them. I'll
Yeah.
probably end up getting one soon. It's just not been on my budget list priority wise currently. Tow Truck Dustin uses them.
We had the Sandy Am truck show up one day, and me and the boss went on the truck and we were looking at all the stuff, and I saw them and I was like, oh, these are nice. I've been wanting to get one of these for a while, but again, it's only $150, but it's, sometimes it's hard to just pull that money up. And he ended up buying one for everybody. So
Nice.
yeah,
That's
he
kind of how the
covered
boss was for us on the next subject, flashlights.
flashlights. Yeah,
Boss got us our flashlights. I was like, oh yeah, check out these
Yeah.
stream lights, really, really good. He's like, I want one for each truck. And I was like,
this
let's
was
do it.
part of the Christmas bag this year was this Nebo Da Vinci 600L, I believe it is. And this thing is awesome. I like it because of the light it shines is round. There is no bright spot in the middle. So at night when you're pulling an impound and you're trying to get pictures of the car, it lights up the car so nice. It's not just a little hot spot in the middle, which is the other light that I carry, the Stream Light. I've had this light for it wasn't long after I started working here, so probably 8 years, 9 years. The only thing I've done is I've replaced the button on it, I think twice.
I've
But-
got the bigger one of that, and I've had it for 2 years, and it's
Yeah,
been tremendous.
I love it. It's great.
And I have my small little
I've dropped it in the snow. I've dropped it
Pen
in puddles. This thing has been completely underwater, and it just does not let me down, except for the button. But the buttons are cheap. Yeah, I got them. First time it was covered.
Sometimes your tool trucks will even have the rebuild kits on them too. So
That's
check in with
I
your tool
got this
provider.
one from Snap-on.
Yep.
From the Snap-on truck here at the auto shop one day.
That's
And,
what I did.
And luckily, I told
Tool
the
truck
guy,
got me.
I told him, I said, "Hey man, the button stopped working." He's like, "Oh, just come by and I'll replace it for you next time I'm down there selling your mechanic some tools." And he replaced it right on the truck. And then the second time, our Snap-on guy changed, and he wasn't covering it anymore. But I got the new replacement on Amazon, and it was super, super cheap. But these Nebos are awesome too. I like this because it's just USB-C rechargeable, nice and waterproof.
Yeah.
The Streamlight, I do have the charger with a spare battery, and I just keep it in the truck.
Same. Yep. I got the spare battery
Yep.
and the charger.
About once a week, even if it doesn't need it, about once a week, I'll just swap the battery out. That way I know that I'm good, especially before weekend when I'm on call.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday night, definitely swap out that battery. But yeah, having a Guardian Angel flashlight, especially a flashlight like one of these, which has the strobe effect to it. I've even just set it on strobe and set it on the ground, pointed kind of towards traffic. So people see that. Just another little bit of extra warning.
And then my benefit too is another thing. It's a tool truck thing. Other companies have many of them like it. I prefer to get the Snap-on ones. I have an awesome dealer. He's a cool rep.
Yeah.
Gives me a hell of a deal every time. So I have a couple of them. I have a smaller one and a bigger one of it. They flip out. They have a regular flash, magnetic, comes out. You're just taking off drive lines in the middle of the night on the Siskiyous. You know what I mean? Boop, pop it up right under there.
Great for having a
and you got light underneath the whole thing. You know what I mean? You carry two. I have a smaller one that's in the clipboard, and I have the medium one that clips on the side of my seat, literally magnet. So pull it out. I'm good to go. Same thing like you said. I'll put it on the edge of the bed, and I'll pull it out. Let the light come back if I need to see. If I need to look down, if I need to see something under, it's great.
Yeah.
So
Harbor Freight, the Bauer lights from Harbor Freight are actually really good, and they make very similar ones to the Snap-ons.
Okay.
At a much lower price.
Yeah.
But
like I said, not everybody.
Yeah. Not.
I'm over here talking about I can't get a Guardian Angel, but I'll get on the Snap-on truck and he'll get me every time. So.
Yeah. The Bauer lights from Harbor Freight are really, really good. We got Milwaukee on the big trucks, so pretty much everything runs on a Milwaukee battery. And we've got a nice little, it's like a hexagonal work light that takes the Milwaukee batteries. Nice. 2 different brightness settings on it, and those things are great. They last a long time. We'll use those for pull and drive line, or on the big wrecks where you got to get under there and find an air leak and repair it, or even honestly just set it up on the back of the truck and off the side. Before the other truck gets there with the big tripod lights and stuff.
Yep.
And they work really, really well. So the lighting is very, very important. Let's go to the gloves. I stabbed myself twice in the same spot, right here in my finger. And man, because I wasn't wearing leather.
That'll make a grown man cry. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, I said some things.
I don't really typically appreciate getting poked by the wires at all.
And it was in the same spot, and it was just like, man, I'm stupid. I did it twice. Anytime we're handling wire rope, the boss man says you got to be wearing leather gloves. We went as far as Uline sells a double palm, specifically meant for handling wire rope. So it's got a double palm on your thumb, your index finger, and your pinky finger, and all through your palm. I love those for the heavy wrecks. They're still very, very soft. Like you still have good manipulation. You can't feel through them because they are double leather.
Right.
But I mean, for handling chain, for handling cable, I have not gotten stuck through those. I have gotten stuck through the regular leather because it's not super thick.
As thick, right?
But your chances are less. When I poked myself this last time, I was just wearing the cheap rubber palm knit back cheap gloves from Harbor Freight, which that's typically what I'll use on the flatbeds, just because I got very, very good feel. I can find the federal holes very easily.
Proper connections.
Make sure your federal holes. And they don't do shit for keeping your hands clean. This is as clean as I can get my hands after that. Like, they just don't come clean anymore.
I just scrubbed my hands yesterday.
Yeah, no, I've been using Dawn and Purple Power, Fast Orange.
Yep.
and the scrub brushes, and it's like, man, I got to get some steel wool or something to get this crap off my fingers. But anyway, yeah, I was wearing the rubber gloves, stabbed myself twice, cussed myself out because I knew I should have been wearing the leather, and it might not have happened. But those double palm leathers from Uline, highly, highly recommended. They're not much more than the regular leather palm gloves. And the double palms, like I said, we really just use them for when we know we're going to be handling. If we're doing a recovery, if it's light duty or heavy duty, we're going to be handling the cable a lot, like those double palm leathers.
Right.
We also have a rule: we always wear hard hats whenever we're winching, doing recovery work. Not flatbed, obviously.
Right.
I actually wore my hard hat for a lot of this storm. It kept my head dry. Rather than just wearing a regular hat or hoodie up, get soaked. Kept my hard hat on, and my head stayed relatively dry. My ears were freezing cold because I couldn't fit my hoodie underneath it because I got a big fat head.
I got the bright green beanie, and then my boss is awesome, and she got us one of those like Russian type looking hats. It's high vis
with the ears.
Yes,
Really?
And it's all fuzzy on the inside. And I told her one day, I was like, "That's the best thing you guys have ever got me." Keeps my head so cozy.
Nah, I don't normally wear anything, but when I got wet and with the wind, it was too much. So
it's the worst.
Threw my hard hat on Tuesday, and it pretty much stayed on until Thursday.
Yeah, I saw that picture.
Yeah. Hard hats whenever you're winching. I've seen pictures of guys that took a hook to the face, took a hook to the top of the head, and if they had a hard hat on, your reflex is to duck. So if you duck,
I've had a snatch block blow up in front of me.
Really?
Yes, an old piece of shit. Pardon my language, but garbage one that was on the truck.
Didn't check your equipment.
I got a new one.
Good.
This was from the old driver, previous driver.
Yeah.
Left everything, and I came in and cleaned up the truck, organized everything. Said, "Hey, we need this. Hey, I need a strap. I need, this is what I need because this is not proper."
Yep.
But yeah, I actually watched a snatch block. Shot the pulley. No clue where the pulley went. Out the outside of it.
Yeah.
No clue where the pulley went.
We've been pretty lucky. I can't remember a single failure. At any of the companies I've worked at, I can't remember a single failure.
That was the only time that I've ever seen a snatch block go.
Yeah. I've seen plenty of pictures of the aftermath. In my heavy duty class, they actually showed a video of a guy. It was back in Virginia, maybe. They were winching out a D8 or a D9 dozer that got stuck. And they had a bunch of trucks on it, a bunch of snatch blocks. Well, one of the snatch blocks let go, and it sent like an 8-inch pulley flying, and it hit him in the leg, compound femur fracture, like really, really,
those
really
big ones are
injury.
nothing to play with.
No. I mean, you've got a 50-pound pulley flying at you.
Yeah.
Who knows, Mach Jesus speed.
My snatch blocks, you know what I mean? That big. It's tiny.
Still don't want to get hit with
it.
I
know that. Yeah. But I'm saying, you jump over to the heavy duty side and you get one of those heavy duty ones that blows.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
But if you get a hook that lets loose or a chain that lets loose and stuff's coming flying back at you, your instinct is to duck. So if you have a hard hat on, the hard hat's going to take the brunt of it. It may not take 100%, but it's taking a very large portion of that energy.
You're not going to have a pulley in your head.
Yeah. Hopefully not. If it's big enough, it'll still do you, but the hard hat's going to absorb a lot of that energy before it has a chance to hit you. So your injuries are going to be significantly less.
Impact.
Exactly. Your head is not. So yeah, hard hats anytime when you're winching, you just got to do it. But yeah, that's for personal stuff. I think that about covers it.
Mm-hmm.
But we can talk about scene stuff. Lighting on your trucks.
And not every state is going to be valid to it either. Like I know California in particular, you can't run anything other than amber on your tow trucks. Stipulations, their laws.
Right.
We're not talking about that. We're talking as a whole in general.
Yeah.
I don't want you guys to think stateside, even though we're talking about our local state. We know you guys have different regulations.
Yep.
We know you can run different colors or do different things.
No,
but
we're lucky in Oregon that we're allowed to run red.
Yeah.
We can run red out the front, out the back. And DOT actually encourages it. When I stopped at a scale one time, and the DOT guy was just chatting with me. I was hooking up a vehicle there, and he came out and he's like, "Man, I'm really glad to see you're running red." He said a lot of tow companies don't even know that they can. But we really want every tow company, anybody that can run red should be running red, even if it's just out the back.
Yep.
And we really need to push for blue. out the back.
I say blue to the rear 100%.
Yeah.
No blue to the front.
We don't need
We're
it out
not
the front.
cops. We're not,
No.
you know what I mean? The red to the front, white to the front, amber to the front, all good.
No.
I think red and blue and amber to the rear, 100%.
Studies show that the blue light is the most visible light spectrum in daylight and at night. So for us to have that extra visibility, and just the fact that amber, the general public for the most part just doesn't give a crap about amber.
You could the mailman has amber lights.
Yeah.
The garbage man has amber
Yep.
lights. Your city worker has amber lights.
Yep. Joe contractor hauling a little trailer has amber lights.
Yep. The Bobcat has amber lights on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know, we can run red here in Oregon, and I'm starting to see a lot more trucks, especially in our area,
Mhm.
are changing over to red
Red,
lights.
white, and then
Yep.
I know, like I said, the blue factor. There's
Yeah.
a couple people trying to push for it.
There's a few states right now.
Washington being one of them. They just switched over to
Yeah.
that recently in the last year.
Yeah. And I can't wait to see what the studies show on the effect that has.
Yeah.
Hopefully in Washington, when enough guys get switched over to blue and red out the back, hopefully the statistics drop significantly there. That'll just give us more ammo, and we need to be pushing our legislatures, our anybody in government. We need to be
The
pushing
city
them
council. I mean,
to
everybody.
allow us to run blue and red out the back of our trucks in every state. It's a safety issue. It's just too many guys, whether it's tow truck or roadside assistance or ODOT and any of the roadside workers. Too many people are dying because the public just does not care about amber.
And that'll bring into the next portion of it, which is really good. And I think it should actually be huge on a lot of things. The patterns.
The patterns, yeah.
You go too fast, you're shining light like you're in a club, and
Yeah.
somebody's going to have a seizure, or you know what I mean?
Yep.
They're going to go straight towards that because they're like, hey, come here,
Yep.
come here, come here, come here. You know what I mean?
A lot of the PD that we work with now, I'm noticing when they're on scene, they actually go to either steady burn or they'll go to a slow.
It's a
alternating
DVI
flash.
pattern. So it'll kind of be like a slow,
Yep.
easy, you
More
know
of a
what I mean?
pulsing than
Yep.
a flash.
And it'll be low power. So they're
Yeah.
not sitting there blinding you.
Yeah,
And a lot
especially
of-
at night. I mean, you can go crazy with your trucks.
Oh, yeah.
Amazon lights are so cheap. I've seen some trucks out there that just make you say, "Holy crap!" But there is such a thing as too much.
Yep.
There is such a thing as too much. Again, there's plenty of studies out there that say you can overwhelm the person, and then they're not going to know what to do when they're getting closer to you. They're going to slow down too much and potentially cause a secondary accident. So you got to find that sweet spot.
Yep.
You know, you can have a lot of light, but that, like you said, that rapid flash pattern can overwhelm people. So
So like
toning
my
it
light
down,
bar, my light bar it's an easy back and forth between the amber and the white.
like a wave.
Yeah, real simple.
Right.
Real simple across the bar, back and forth. And then, you know, I got a couple on the grill,
Yep.
a couple on the side under the door.
Yeah.
Other than that, all the rest of my lights,
They're just steady burn.
they're steady.
Yeah.
All my bed lights,
Yep.
all the white lights, steady. Gives me visibility.
Right.
You can still see it. There's still a little bit of warning.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, granted, I've had close calls at times. If you're in the industry and you haven't had a close call, you're probably still new.
Just give it time. It's
You're
gonna
probably still
happen.
new. But it makes a huge difference. When I had my truck a year and a half ago,
Yeah.
it had nothing.
Yeah.
One light bar is all I had.
Was it just a strobe light?
Yeah, it was just one little LED bar.
One on each side, or did you have doubles on each
No, I
side?
just had a regular bar.
Oh.
One single bar on the top. And
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
it. That was all I had. So I had a set of pod lights to see out the back.
Yeah.
And the light bar.
Man.
And now I have all the lights on the side, and it glows. It's
Yeah.
great. When it's dark out, you know I'm there.
Yep.
You're not missing me. And again, it's not bringing people. It's not like, hey, come here,
Right.
come here. You
Yeah.
know, it's like, hey,
I've heard guys say that, I don't even wear any reflective or anything like that. 'cause
I
it's just-
see it.
It just draws people to you, and
We
I
get
just-
up on a rotation call with another company, and dude's hopping out in
Yeah.
a black shirt and black pants, and you're like,
Yeah. It's midnight, it's dark. You're on a side road or something, and guys out there wearing all black, and it's like, I just don't get it. I don't get it.
be safe, be seen. And you should have learned that when you were like 10.
Yeah, so truck lighting, a slower flash pattern once you're on scene. I had ODOT actually ask us to turn the light bar off on one of our trucks once. It was red, and it was just causing people to slow down too much. They were worried about that secondary crash. And he came up and he's like, hey, is there any way you can turn the intensity down or change it to amber or just plain turn it off because we don't want a secondary and people are slowing down way too much.
That should be another thing. When people are buying equipment, I get it comes stock. Take it to an upfitter and get a controller installed, dude.
Oh, yeah.
1 switch, 2 switch, 3 switch. Oh, yeah, you need me to turn it down? Sure. I'll turn on 1 light in the front,
Yeah.
1 light in the back. There you go.
So many of the trucks that come from the dealer don't have any
full light bar, everything.
They've got the full light bar with all the options in it. They don't have the right controller to give you.
They
all
put it
of
on the toggle
options.
switch that's included in the car, so every
Right.
light comes on at once.
Yep.
It's like
you get the controller, you can change the pattern, you can change the front to rear, you can change the left to right,
front
you
cut,
can change
back
the
cut,
brightness.
scene lights. I
Yeah.
mean, all of it, everything, all the switches you have in your truck now can all be ran off that one controller.
Yep.
It's smart. It's ideal.
If your bar is a Federal Signal, a Whelen,
sound off,
Code
Code 3,
3,
Phoenix,
all of those bars, for the most part, all of those bars will have a separate controller that you can use that'll give you so many more features. You can program them yourself.
even the older Whelen light bars, like the original Liberty ones, you can wire to a switch box
Yeah.
and choose to have the rear mode
Yep.
or a traffic advisor or all of it going. I
Yeah.
mean, it's even the old bars to an extent, you can still do that.
Yep. A lot of it, you can do it right from your own laptop. You don't have to bring it anywhere. You can just have it.
Plug and play.
Yep.
Boop.
Nice and easy.
Whelen Core does it. I think Blueprint, sound off signal Blueprint,
Yeah.
I think is what it is. And it's what the LEO uses. All the,
Right.
the newer cop agencies and all the cars that are being built and stuff like that, they're all using the Whelen DVI and things like that. And that's what gives them the cool. It's expensive.
It's
as hell.
expensive. Yes. Yes.
But
Uh,
again, like we're saying, you go buy the truck, spend $400-$500, get a controller thrown
Yeah.
in there, tell them what you want, they'll wire it up for you.
and you're going to get what you
And you
pay
have
for. We bought some light bars off of, it wasn't even Amazon. It was just a reseller in back east. And they lasted a year.
The old truck 30 lights.
Yeah. They
That
lasted
finally
a year and started losing modules. And they were good while it was under warranty. They just kept sending us new modules. No issues. As soon as that warranty, I never heard another word. So we ended up having to pay out of pocket, replaced all the front modules on the truck. The bar was cheap. We only paid $700 for it. And then another, I don't even remember how much it was, $300 or $400 for the replacement modules just a couple months ago.
See, you add that up right there, and that right there is going to give you a Whelen Liberty 2,
You're at $1,000.
basic
And
model Whelen Liberty
yeah.
2, and you're golden. Brand
Yeah.
new bar, multiple different things
Yep.
to do.
Buy the bar, get it installed, and have it ready for the controller when you can afford that.
And honestly, you don't even always need a slide switch. I have done it myself on vehicles and things like that, where you can get a 6-panel little switch, little toggle switches, and you can wire, I want these 3 wires run my rear. Okay, well,
Yep.
this switch is going to run my rear. Boop. I want these 3 to run my fronts. Boop.
Right.
I want this one to go to my grills. You don't need a $500 controller.
No.
You can get a $25 Amazon one
Yep.
and still wire your light bar to
The
do
information's
these
out there.
things.
Just YouTube and Reddit's a great resource. You can find a lot of information on how to make your equipment do what you want it to do. Just do a little bit of research on
And
it.
there's Facebook pages galore.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a part of an emergency lights page right now, and there's hundreds and hundreds. I think they're at over 100,000 people on that
Oh, wow.
page. People who work for Whelen, people
Right.
who work for Federal. So these guys are dealers, installers, upfitters. You have questions, 99% of the time they're going to help you unless you make yourself look stupid.
Right.
Then they're probably going to laugh at you.
Yeah.
And don't ever say I got Amazon lights from them,
Oh,
because
yeah.
in a professional standpoint, tell me what police agency uses Amazon lights, please.
Nobody.
No.
You get what you pay for.
Yep.
Our Phoenix bar on our old truck 35, that truck is over 20 years old. That light bar works great.
Yeah, it was
And
always a good bar.
The only thing I ever replaced in that bar was a work light in the back.
I was going to say the one light that went out when I had it.
Yep. That's the only light I've ever replaced in that bar. It's a great bar. And
Mhm.
and same thing with our Whelen bars. They just last. Truck 17, Ed's truck. We've never replaced a light bar in that. And that truck is
That's a code 3.
2000. That's a Whelen. It is a Whelen on truck 17.
The Ford, the wrecker,
Yes.
that's a code 3. I promise you.
Is it a code 3?
It is.
Either way,
Yeah,
that truck is a 2000 and
because that's the bar that
Four.
I had that I threw on Dylan's
oh,
03.
the Whelen is the new truck. The Wayland is the new
Yes,
truck. I
his
got him
Liberty.
switched
He has
up.
a Liberty 2 on that one. And
Yes.
that one's got the cruise lights, the
Oh,
low
yeah.
power. That thing is nice.
Yeah.
I like that bar.
No, now that we figured out all the little bells and whistles on it, it's a great little bar.
Me and him drive by and say hi, flashing with the lights,
Yeah, flash each other.
Yeah.
Pervert. Anyway,
You wish you could flash.
Work lights. Highly recommend work lights under the truck. We've done that on our heavies. Get the little metal brackets, bolt them onto the frame, put a white LED, just like a backup light into those, and have them angled so that they're pointing out from under the truck. It is absolutely great for when you're on scene, walking around the truck. You can see where you're going. You can make sure you're not stepping in any holes or tripping over stuff. And you can do it on any of the trucks, any of the wreckers, any of the flatbeds. A couple, I think we've got only got 4 of them on our 2 heavies, and it's just enough to light up the ground. It's at an angle so that passing traffic isn't getting blinded. And they're great. Highly recommend lighting on the underside of your truck.
That's how I have it on the back of mine. I have 2 that come out straight back so I can see, and then I have 2 that go down towards the corner. So when my bed's down,
it's all lit up.
I have the lighting down behind me, and I can see everything behind me.
Some of the flatbeds, the older Jordan beds, our truck 29 has holes for 4-inch rounds cut up right up in the front where the headache rack mounts.
Underneath. So I have that, but mine has the oval.
Oh, it's the ovals?
Mine's the oval cut on mine.
If you've got a hole, fill it.
Yep.
Put a light in it. We put those lights in, and it lights up the top of the toolboxes, but it also lights up all around the truck. And we just have them wired into the work lights. So when you flip on the deck work lights, all the other work lights kick on too. Your scene lights for underneath your truck, the ones that shine down on the bed, they all are wired up together. It's great. It's really great.
My truck is a UFO as is, so I get blessed with just the orange glow off the side.
You've
thankfully.
got like 300,000 lights along the edge of your bed, so it you probably don't need it.
I think it's like 64 total on between the 2 sides.
Yeah,
and like 30 on the back.
No, I'm gonna catch up with you.
No, you won't.
I won't get that far, but
I promise you won't.
I don't think I want that much.
I'll have my whole front bumper done by the time you even start putting yours in.
Probably. Yeah.
We've been giving the Boss Man's truck some love, so
nice.
Once this is getting painted, then.
What do you have for work lights out the back? Do you use the bars, or do you
have
the squares?
So I have a full bar at the top of my rack that's angled down towards my bed.
Yeah.
So when it's down, it's not facing back. You're not getting blinded, and I still have my visibility. And then I have 2 pods down where my winch is at.
Nice.
So the normal underpool lights that were on there. And then it's like when I had 35, I didn't have that light up there.
No.
So I've seen your boss's truck at the time. I was like, let me do that. And he did it. And now what, 29 and 35 both have them?
29 and 35 both have them. And I'm going to be switching 43 over to that style too. We've just been getting them off the impound cars.
That's what we do.
Those tweaker cars. When they don't come and pick them up and we own them through Lean, we take the lights off and we just stick them on a shelf. We've got so many lights over there.
That's how
we've got bar lights from 12 inches and just a single row of LEDs up to we've got some 48-inch bars, 52-inch bars, like big bars. Nice, rigid.
Yeah, I've got a 48 curved one that's going to go right in the front of my bumper.
Nice. No, we're going to be switching over. The pod lights up by the winch, they just keep getting hit. They keep getting damaged with debris from wrecks. You throw a bumper up there or something, and the ones that we've been getting from our supplier,
I do remember that on 35.
The lights getting broken a lot.
Every time it kept busting off.
Yep.
And where I have mine at now, it's not directly on the side of the winch. It's actually back up towards.
On the headache rack panel, or
almost.
Yeah.
But it's right next to the winch, but further back. So when you set that bumper up there, they're not getting hit and pushed in there.
Right.
There's a nice little gap between it still. So
we were using the square lighting, and they were great at first. Nice heavy duty aluminum.
The one
housing.
that I replaced on 30, right?
I think
those back ones that we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those were the same ones that were on the back of 35.
Well, then they switched to plastic. It's the same manufacturer, same part number and everything. They switched to plastic, and they were doing that for it was a few years. It was Jupiter lighting. We were getting it at Freightliner, and finally they switched back to aluminum. So the much sturdier. Yeah. We broke so many lights got tossed just because, and we tried to super glue them and put it, and it just wasn't worth it. I think I super glued
mine like 3 times before I was finally like, all right, I got to swap it out.
Yep. Those other ones, like Truck 15 has the aluminum Jupiter lights on there from before I started working here. And I think there's one of the lights has an LED that failed. But I mean, those things take a beating.
Shoot, my pod lights have 2 little LEDs are out of it. And it's like,
but those aluminum housings, again, you get what you pay for. Try to get aluminum housing. But the work lights, just got to make sure you're not blinding oncoming traffic. I was coming back into Oregon from California, and I don't know who they were because I couldn't see, but they had like a 50-something inch curved bar at the top of their headache rack, right underneath their light bar. And it was just blasting oncoming traffic. You could not see a damn thing. Even when I got past them, like I moved over to the fast lane, slowed down. And when I got past, I tried to look at the door. My eyes were so screwed up from that light. I couldn't see what the door was. I couldn't tell what color the truck was. It was just too much. If it wasn't a curved bar, maybe it would have been a little better, but just the angle that they had it at.
It's the angle. Because like I said,
it was blasting
when
everybody.
you go straight from me behind, I have that bar that's directly under my light bar on the back of my rack, but it's pointed down at my deck.
Yeah.
So if you're standing at the back of my deck and you're looking at it from the back where my rear lift is at, yeah, you're going to get blind.
Right.
But, you're coming from a distance. It's not directly back. It's still facing down.
Yeah.
It's going to be bright.
Yep.
But it's not directly in your face.
No, I mean, if you look at your light, the way it's cast, you should hopefully have it end right about where the back of the car you would be loading.
And make sure you're looking at it in the dark because the daytime isn't really going to tell you.
I guess that's pretty much it for lighting. Safety flares. I highly recommend flares. It gets traffic to move over, really gets their attention to slow down. Unfortunately, we can't use them here in the summertime. We got fire issues.
Welcome to Southern Oregon.
Yeah, but like this winter, I mean, just in this last storm, I went through at least half a box, just dropping them just to get people's attention. They work really, really well.
I just sat outside and waved like an inflatable man.
Wacky waving inflatable arm man. Yeah.
Right at the end of the corner.
I was carrying cones on my on my wrecker. I gave up on them. They weren't really doing anything. They just got dirty.
I have them. I don't use them often. There's times where I'm like, a little bit of warning is probably gonna be good for somebody.
I threw them out. I'd throw them out there if I had a wreck or something like that. But I just didn't feel like they got the effect that the flares did.
Yeah.
So in the summertime, I could definitely see them. It's better than nothing.
Yep. The
little bit of extra pre-warn, especially on a corner.
Blind corners. We got a lot of those.
Oh yeah. But typically with signage and cones, ODOT has us covered on that. If it's a wreck and we're going to be there for a while, they'll at least have a truck, a sign truck, and pre-warn back up a little bit around the corner so that they can get a little pre-warning for us. And even the officers are really good. They'll ask, "Hey, where do you want me?"
Yeah, typically be like, "Hey, do you need anything?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like I'll get it out of here as quick as I can. If you could just sit there for like 10 minutes."
Yeah, I got good visibility this way, but I got a corner here, so if you can go around that corner and just let me, as soon as I pull away, man, I would really appreciate it.
Well, it's like the cop I had during the snowstorm.
Yeah,
I think it was. I want to say it was either Wednesday or Thursday, the yellow car I sent you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that officer, he was super cool. He's like, "Do you need anything?" And I was like, honestly, typically I would be like, "No, you're good." But it's snowing. Would you mind he's like, "Yeah, man, no problem." He backed up like 10 feet, blocked the whole lane for me. He's like, "I'm just going to stay warm in my truck." I said, no problem, bro. I just want the lights there so I don't get hit.
Right.
And then there's other times where like I've had the issue, watching Tow Truck Dustin's video. You'll see literally sheriff took off right in the middle of the dark.
And I tell them, I say, "Hey, if you can hang out, I would really appreciate it. If you have to go, by all means."
Well, typically they ask me too. I mean,
yeah.
Or like if I know I need it, but I don't expect them to just always go off.
Right.
It's happened more often than not lately.
And it could have been right at shift change, and they're trying to get home. And
slow down, move over, coming soon.
Well, yeah, that's where we're going to next. Episode 3. We are really, really pushing for episode 3 to be slow down, move over. Like we said before, we are working on guests. We've got a couple ideas. We're just waiting on confirmation. As soon as we get that confirmation, we'll throw out a short or something.
Kind of give you guys a little teaser.
Yeah, a little teaser of what's to come.
And if you guys know anybody, like I know we follow a few pages of slow down, move over between some of the other states. Follow us. Yeah. If you guys want to collaborate, please reach out to us. This one's huge.
Yeah.
This one is probably one of the biggest episode things that we've been trying to put together.
As soon as we started talking about this, the very first idea for an episode was slow down, move over.
Yeah. We wanted it to launch at the beginning of the year to be like, hey, beginning of the year, let's try this. Yeah. But we're kind of pushing more closer towards like.
Hopefully the first Monday of March.
Yeah.
We're going to try to release episodes the first Monday of the month. on a schedule. Again, we're going to try to record at least the week before, so that
gives us some time to
a little buffer. Like I'm going to be editing this tonight to release tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
But
Mother Nature had her plan. We had originally planned to have this recorded Wednesday last week.
Yeah.
And it would have been released tomorrow with no problem. No big issues, no nothing.
No,
Yeah.
But so, you get toes, I get toes.
I'm literally going to do one right after this.
Yeah. So, we got to do what we can do. So we're going to try to record earlier, which will give us a better buffer and try to make sure we're getting our episodes out on time.
Yeah.
So Slow Down, Move Over, first Monday of March.
If you want to be a guest, reach out. If you know somebody, if you have stories, that one I'd like to push for a long episode. I want that one to be a long, informative, very good episode.
If we can get the guests that we're trying to get, it should be a solid hour.
Yeah.
A solid
and
hour.
I can give you one guest right now for sure who's on it. Tow Truck Dustin will be on it. He's already confirmed. He's already approved of it. We've already chatted about it. We're in contact, every day. So he will be on it for sure. There's a couple other people we're in the works on back and forth. And like we said, we'll release those in a teaser.
Yeah.
So
if you know somebody at ODOT or Jackson County Sheriff or OSP, we'd really like to try to get somebody from
even Medford
or
PD.
all of them.
Even Medford PD. If you know anybody local to us, if you want to come down from Grants Pass and talk about it, even whatever works.
Yeah.
Wairika's 45 minutes away.
Yep.
If a California guy wanted to come up here and come chat with us, that'd be awesome too. We want to work with you guys.
Slow Down, Move Over affects everybody across the country. So I don't care if you're in Maine.
Yeah.
If you're in it and you have some info and you want to talk, get in touch with us.
And it's huge. It really is. Yeah. It's bigger than what a lot of people are really understanding.
Yeah.
So.
But that about wraps it up. Make sure you like, sub, follow, subscribe, share, all that stuff.
The links are there.
Yeah.
You guys are the reason we get word of mouth and get out. As much as we can promote, we can do what we can do and we can post. But your guys' subscriptions, your guys' likes, your guys' interactions with us are what bring us up and start getting us with the community that we're in.
Yeah.
So
we want to grow this family.
Yeah.
And I guess that's about it. Be safe out there. Be safe out there and see you on the next one.
Keep hooking.